Greetings, Tecmo Super Bowl fans. This is Trojan, joined in the booth once again by Tom, the Retro Sports Gamer. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. We're in the Final Four now in the third Beebe tournament. We're going to get a classic NFC Central matchup between the Detroit Lions and Minnesota Vikings. I can't wait.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So we have the number one overall seed in our tournament, Primetime, after group play. Had the best point differential and record, taking on Darthrockman, who was also, I believe, in the top 5 or 6 there. And the reason why this matchup was selected by Darthrockman, he is an elite tapper. And so he wanted to put himself in a position where he knew Primetime would prefer the JJ game and the strong defense of the Vikings, and he'd be able to get the elite running back with the Vikings being Barry Sanders. So having that tapping advantage is going to pay off dividends for him, as well as with the scrambling with Rodney Peete and potentially Andre Rare if conditions change. So he definitely has the scenario that he wants. Primetime, just a solid all-around player, is always finishing high in regional tournaments, whether it's Tundra Bowl, whether it's been our past GBLAN tournaments and Tecmo Milwaukee, and I've run up against him a couple times, and he is no slouch. He is a complete Tecmo player, so we'll be entertaining to watch both these guys execute at a high level, and we'll see how it turns out. So let's get started.
Let's do this.
Darthrockman actually likes to bring his own controller to tournaments. He's using the top-loading Dogbone controller, the one that would come with the NES2.
Yeah. What does he do at tournaments where that's outlawed?
I think he gets it pre-approved. So normally we don't allow, but if you've been in the tournament before, we know you're not full of shenanigans, then we'll allow it. So it's one of those things where we have some guy, we don't want people bringing in like some third-party controller that we've never seen before. I think that's, once you've been in the community for a while, and a guy like Darthrockman is essentially the probably the leading champion of online Tecmo. The guy literally brings brochures with him to tournaments, telling people how to get connected. So he's a major community pillar in that regard. It's a nice run there on first down by Barry Sanders, and this risky throw to Gray, and that could have been picked, and they both know it. You can see the reaction there. Second down and 10. We have a weak side open run play incoming here. For some reason, going with Scott Studwell and not Merriweather on that play, probably was trying to bump something. Studwell, I think, is possibly the second worst linebacker in Tecmo Super Bowl.
It happens. Sometimes you misclick or you just think you have an advantage with the linebacker, but Barry Sanders easily picks up 10 yards there.
Just runs away from him, and we have a red gun seat pass called. And he did have the wide receiver one wide open. Decides to keep it on the ground with Pete with that 31 max speed, second down and 3 here coming up. And it looks like pass 1 is the call. And dangerous throw to Gray in the tight end position, who does catch it, fumbles out of bounds just past the 30-yard line. So moving the ball is Darthrockman, dodges 2 potential interception bullets here. Surprised that pass was not jump picked.
Exactly. With those kind of cross-field throws, that's always what you're worried about, if the defender's actually going to jump up and pick the ball off. And the cutback here from Barry Sanders, another fumble, but he fumbles out of bounds. So Darth is dodging some bullets here, but he's feeling pretty good on this drive.
This time, Primetime switches to Merriweather back-to-back here, and loses the taps. He did have him isolated, and gets a winning grapple to Darthrockman and gets enough for a first down. First down and 10, threatening is Darthrockman here at the 20-yard line.
And here we go. We see Primetime called run there. You can see why with Barry Sanders on the other side and all the running that he's been doing. But he doesn't throw the ball. He just runs, and he's playing it conservatively.
And with the slow pass speed against Browner and other likes, that's probably the right decision. Just keep nickel and diming away, and gets another first down here. So now 1st and goal from the 6. A tough play to defend here if it's not picked. This is pass 4, and now you've got to defend. The receiver throws it, and incomplete. Perfectly played, baited the throw. Very lucky that was not intercepted. Primetime played that expertly, and now we have single back formation. Looks like pass 2 is the call, and keeping on the ground is Pete into the end zone. Touchdown Lions.
Rodney Pete, and Primetime's got to be hurt a little bit after that drive. I mean, Ben dodged a few bullets on that one with a few of his throws and 2 fumbles out of bounds, so he's got to feel good about it. It was a good drive, but just, there was a lot of things that bounced his way. The Tecmo gods are behind Darth right now.
And they both laughed about that because they knew it was close. They've had some close calls, and Darth knows he got away with a couple risky plays there. And just has to laugh it off, and it's his turn to do some damage here as the Minnesota Vikings. So I see he's got the opposite eye playbook. He's got the shotgun pass 3 in the mix here. And I think that's the right playbook against this defense.
Yeah, for sure. I think he knows what he's doing here. And Ben's trying to decide what defender he's going to use. He uses Coffer. He's a popular choice, but there's that first down JJ.
Yep, perfectly timed there. Down to Carter and the Anthony Carter variety. And that's the game of the Minnesota Vikings is getting that lofty throw up there, letting those high reception stat receivers, Hassan Jones, Steve Jordan, and Anthony Carter go up and get them. So
I don't know what it is, but it seems like a lot of guys are so good with the short range JJ game with the Vikings. Do you notice that?
Yes, it requires you to defend the entire field, and it's just a way of opening up other things. So once they get those timings down, there's always risk involved when you do that. If for some reason the quarterback has an errant throw, but tries to go for a deep shot there and just can't get it done. And so we've got 3rd and 15 here, single back formation. Controller drop, and I don't know if they're playing slappies there. For those who don't know, slappies, you're allowed to knock the controller once per half out of your opponent's hand. I don't think that's what happened there. And Primetime being a good sport here, letting Darthrockman compose himself there. And this is what happens at Tecmo tournaments after a few brewskis.
Primetime's not feeling the dog bone controller. No, it's so interesting that he uses the dog bone controller. I don't have anything against it. I just haven't seen it before.
So a lot of the bugs are rounded instead of going inward. As I understand, the action's a little better for tappers. And everything's a preference. I mean, only guys that can tap as fast as him would really understand that. Like I said, he's tapping up to 18 when he has to have it. So. Yeah. I think like Regulator and Tecmo Cycle are a little faster at 1920,
if you compare it to like the Street Fighter 5 tournaments and the fighting game tournaments, everyone brings their own arcade stick. So, I mean, it's the same type of thing. You want to you want to be comfortable with the controller that you use. So it makes sense.
Well, I bring my own controllers to fighting game tournaments, and I still suck at the games. So it only takes you so far. You've still got to be good at it. And Darthrockman's good at Tecmo, so.
And he's throwing deep here. And these two guys are having a great time. If you're looking at them on the left side of the screen, I mean, they're having a blast at the 3rd Beebe tournament. I don't know how many beers they've drank, but they're having a great one.
Chris Dolman gets loose here, makes a play, 3rd long here for Darthrockman. He's gotten away with at least 3, probably should have been interceptions here. Still hanging on to that 7-0 lead here, so he's got to be careful on his own end. We got a called run 3, tackled in the end zone for a safety, and now Primetime says, yeah, I'm going to take a drink.
That was a huge play right there. A lot of people are gutsy with that run 3, you know, they think they could get away with it because it's like a passing down, but there, no dice for Darthrockman, and Primetime gets the safety.
In that scenario, I just can't see any reason to call that play. I think it was a 21 yards to first down. And any smart player should be able to keep that within 15 yards, even with the worst potential blocking scenario. On top of that, you have the position that just happened. You can't get away, it's called. And now we have the JJ again and Carter. So it looks like Primetime's really got it, has that route dialed in.
And he sure does. Wade Wilson, my experience with him, he could go either way.
And another JJ, but it's immediately caught and fumbled. Did he make a football move? I don't know. First down, Darthrockman.
Were there challenges back then where they were experimenting with it in 1991? I forget. I know there was.
There was instant replay in the 80s and part of the 90s, and at some point they did away with it and then they brought it back. I don't know the history on that. If you know the history of that, feel free to leave that in the comments. Going back to Scott Studwell, must be for popcorning that blocker, and that's exactly what it was. So he's trying to free up a drone defender to do the work to clean up Barry Sanders, and now we have 3rd down and 6. Red gun Z formation.
And if Ben could get in the end zone here, he's got to be feeling really good about this half.
Checking it up here to Clark. Gonna chew some time up. Way over his head, incomplete. And now we have a punting situation, most likely. See Rico watching. We also have Retro Nate and Troy Evers and Emmy Fred watching this one. All have been eliminated at this point in the tournament.
Yeah, and so far, you know, there hasn't been a ton of execution in this one. That's why you got the 7-2 score. But, you know, second half might bring us something different. Here he's just going to chuck a Hail Mary up if he has time. And he's dropping back. Wade Wilson rolling one up.
Jones. Incomplete. Can't get all the way down the field.
Here we go. Halftime. 7-2. It's still anyone's game. You know, that safety might play a huge role in this game, to be honest. I mean, that 2 points, you know, if there's a field goal or it's just tied, so you never know. And they watch all the halftime, and the fans are loving it.
You know what? Big props to that. Tecmo veterans they know what's up with halftime.
Anthony Carter breaking some tackles here. And he's looking at his conditions. Jones is in bad. He's got a couple guys in bad conditions. Chris Carter might make an appearance. It might make it a little confusing for both players on which guy has the ball, but you're just going to have to look at that number.
We hear in the background as we're going through the condition here, we heard good game. That was the sound of Mort's getting a finalized game there on Trojan in the other semifinal game. And I think they were just leaving the clock out. There was a 4th down interception that all but sealed the game for him. And now we have a pass to Chris Carter, who all he does is catch touchdowns except for on that play. 1st down and 10 for Primetime, and he is now driving opposite eye formation. Michael Coffer blows right through that line. But Benny breaks the tackle into the end zone. Primetime starting to flex a little bit. They have a good laugh about it.
Wow, what a series right there. A Chris Carter bomb for not a touchdown. He Keyshawn Johnson that one. And then Fenny breaks the tackle up the middle and scores the TD. Wow, that's impressive.
So both these guys know how to get it when they need to. And now Mel Gray on the return here out near the 10. Nice juke to the 14-yard line. Darthrockman going right into it, not even checking conditions. And
I think he knows what he has to do. He has to have a clean drive up the field with a lot of run, you know, mix in the pass here and there, keep Primetime on his toes. We'll see if he can execute down the field and get in the end zone.
So he's decided, now we've seen this multiple times where the weak side open is taken away, and I don't know if he's been sitting on this play, but he seems to have that sniffed out of Darthrockman. And now we've got the run and shoot up, take it out. So decision time here for Darthrockman, 4th down and 3. I think he trusts himself.
Yeah, this you could call either way. He's deep in his territory, but he kind of needs the offensive possession, so let's see what he can do. And with that, oh, he throws it actually. I thought he was going to run right there. And that's why you probably want to take the run. He throws a deep ball to a guy wide open, but Pete doesn't have the accuracy.
So Primetime had the line on him with Browner, and I think what Darthrockman was worried about was the drone freeing up, so even though he had the taps, he was pretty close to another engaged defender and didn't want to take that chance, and ended up taking what looked like a sure thing, but when you're throwing the pass with Rodney Pete, Primetime did the right thing to force that throw, and it paid off for him. So after a quarterback sack here, we have another JJ attempt, overthrown, and that is intercepted. So that is the first one that backfires for him. And now, 1st down and 10 from the 20-yard line after that. Rodney Pete is in bad.
I gotta say, this is a pretty exciting game. These guys are throwing the ball all over the field. There's been fumbles that are going out of bounds. I really don't know which way this game's going to go at this point.
It looks like we're going to have an Andre Ware sighting here with Rodney Pete going into bad condition, and that information probably was helpful at the beginning of the 3rd quarter.
And here we got Ware in the game. He's still going to have good running speed for a quarterback, or max speed, as I should say.
Jump picked interception.
Fumble out of bounds, another fumble. This game, there has been so many turnovers, or, almost turnovers, fumbles out of bounds, and yeah, it's just back and forth action every play. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Herschel Walker with the run, bouncing to the outside for about a 5-yard gain, actually, rather 7 yards. Herschel Walker bouncing to the bottom, back to the middle. Nice zigzag action here. Taps don't matter when you can maneuver like that. Nice play by Primetime to get the 1st down, and now threatening to extend the lead.
Here's Fenny again. He was successful with it last time, but there he is stuffed. 9-7 going into the 4th quarter.
2nd down and 12, offset I formation for Primetime. Called pass 2 and is tackled for a loss after the completion. 3rd down and 14 coming up.
Yeah, good defense here, holding him. It was looking like with those few runs with Herschel Walker that he was going to prance into the end zone, but now we got a rough 3rd down, 3rd and long, 3rd and 14, and another Herschel Walker, and that's what he's been doing the damage with. Big game, but 4th down.
And this tempo doesn't help you a whole lot. I mean, it does make you have to go for a touchdown, but with these players, they're going for all of it, and so a field goal doesn't beat you, but a touchdown still does. So I'm not sure if I like that decision making. In Tecmo, we try to think of things in possessions, and going up by 5 points is not that great, especially with most of the quarter left up.
Yeah, you could go either way on that, because now, like you said, you're forcing a touchdown versus a field goal. But if he converts there on 4th and 5, maybe scores a touchdown, then he goes up 9. That would be huge. But, he's playing a little bit more conservatively. The way the ball has been turned over so much this game, I can't really blame him for going for the field goal.
We'll see if it's a factor here. 7-12 here in the 4th quarter, 3:35 remaining. Single back formation looks like pass 2 is the call. Browner has to defend the whole field, and Rodney Pete is back in the game here. I didn't see if he went back into average condition.
Now let's see we haven't seen a great drive from Darth since the first drive of the game. So if he could get one here, he might be able to sneak out a win.
2:56 remaining, single back formation. Browner on defense, looks like pass 2. And throws it up to Johnson. out to the 41-yard line. And now in Minnesota Viking territory is Darthrockman. We have a pass one called. Throws it down. Good angle, avoids the jump pick possibility. Completes down to Melgray in the tight end position. First down and 10. We are now near the 25-yard line. Run 3 is the call. Nice use of blockers there. Takes what he can get, 6 yards on first down. Also well defended, minimizing the damage there. Is Primetime, and now we have weak side open formation coming here. And Browner's chosen, gets held up by a block, breaks away, and has a first down to the 6-yard line. First and goal, 1:29 remaining, and a timeout is taken by Primetime. Fearing the impending touchdown, needs time to do something on his own here.
And this has been a superb drive by Ben. He's even been very precise in the passing game. With
goal pass 2, or run 2 rather.
He gets stuff there, but here we got shotgun, so we know it's passing. See if he tries to run in or throw one. And he does a little scramble dipsy-do with Rodney Pete and picks up some yards. And now we got 3rd and 4.
Weak side open coming again. This has been the play that has been the double-edged sword. And it looks like Studwell is popcorn.
Touchdown.
Barry gets it done. He finally gets the pay dirt, and that's a 50-50 proposition sometimes when you try to popcorn that lineman.
Yeah, especially with Studwell. You know, I don't like to take those risks trying to popcorn linemen, but they're sometimes the difference in a game. So, you know, some people go for it every time, some people don't go for it at all. It all just depends on your play style.
Studwell being, I think, this bottom 2 as far as linebackers in the game against an elite runner. If he gets popcorn, someone like a Barry Sanders can get loose and take it to the house just because he doesn't have the speed to get back before the damage is done. But looks like to be the final play of the game here, 7 seconds remaining. It is not called, so we should have a throw here to determine things, and it looks like he's only going to have one receiver in the pattern that matters. Probably Hassan Joe. It looks like he's got Chris Carter up there now.
Deep ball from Wade Wilson to Chris Carter, just a little too far. And
yeah, he waited a little too late to throw that one. And that's the game. So Darthrockman advancing will take on Mort in the finals. 14-12. Most of the damage in the air being done by Wade Wilson. But some of these interceptions don't show up on the score sheet because of the fumbles that are associated with them. Barry Sanders, 13 for 51, and not a whole lot of damage there, but on the whole, Detroit getting 96 yards on the ground, so just enough with the quarterback mixed in with Barry Sanders, and pretty average there running from the Vikings. So I think the turnovers and just lack of being able to punch it in ultimately led to the way this one played out. Any final thoughts from you on this one, Tom?
Well, from two players of that caliber, you usually don't see this wild of a game. It was all over the place. You know, Darthrockman had that nice first drive, and then Primetime, you know, settled in a couple of nice drives in the middle of the game, and then Ben just really cleaned it up for that last drive to get the win, 14-12, and an impressive victory at the end.
Well, congrats to Darthrockman for advancing. Primetime always makes a good showing, and a real classy player. And so he will be eliminated as the last two players remaining are going to be Mort and Darthrockman for the championship, which you and I will be calling that game, so can't wait to do that one. So for the Retro Sports Gamer, Tom, this is Troy signing off for GBLAN Tecmo. We'll catch you next time.